Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another YouTube video. Today I wanted to talk about disappointments in 3.12 and how you might encounter yourself or find yourself in situations where you will be very upset with a game. May it be crafting or may it be that you don't have the gear to defeat certain bosses. So I'm going to talk about these things and my opinions around this as Harvest is not going core. I want to mention my TLDR on the GGG's decision on making Harvest not going core, and I think it's a great decision that Harvest is not going core for the upcoming 3.12 till they've been able to balance the things and make it a more of a balanced approach before it's implemented with deterministic crafting, because the way it's implemented right now, it's absolutely terrible with the garden and it's way too strong. So that's my personal opinion. I think it's great that they're doing this. However, it does come with some downsides, such as the 3.12 disappointment factor that will be taking place in the coming league. Now, I'm very hyped about the league myself, and I want to talk about a little bit of profit crafting, I want to talk about gearing, and I want to talk about bossing and your character's progression without the deterministic crafting of Harvest. Now, some of you people have decided not to play Harvest more than the first couple of weeks because the player retention crashed pretty heavily in the first couple of weeks of Harvest. Now, I understand why. At the same time, the people who basically abandoned ship and will be coming back at 3.12, they won't really be affected that much. However, the people that did continue to play the game, and a lot of you guys I know have enjoyed it a lot and have had some insane gear pieces. We made quite a few mirror service items and whatnot, and even so, the mirror service items have barely been mirror serviced because other people have been crafting them for less currency than they're going for when you copy it. So, with that said, those people that have been crafting, that comes into 3.12 without the deterministic crafting might be very disappointed in the situation that they are no longer able to progress their character in the same way we've been able to during Harvest, as well as being able to profit craft in the same way as we've been able to do during Harvest. So I want to talk about these things and explain what people can expect and basically prepare themselves for it. For those people who enjoys profit crafting, I'm going to start with that because it's something I've been pushing quite a lot the last couple of weeks and been trying to teach people the best I can of how to make currency very easily, both from flipping currency, but mostly looking into profit crafting and learning that. I have a link in the descriptions below to my crafting guide series, which you can learn pretty much everything about crafting. So, when we craft items in the current league, let's see if I have any items here I can show you. I don't, so let's just log over and check that out. So basically, when you craft things in the current league, we are going for 5, 6 tier 1 modifiers. Basically, we're going for perfect items, such as the helmet here, for example, is absolutely perfect. We have a weapon that's absolutely perfect. This weapon, for example, will in 99% of the cases never ever exist without deterministic crafting. Why? Because it's pretty much impossible to hit these modifiers and keep in the alpha mini damage roll, for example. These rings are possible, but people won't do it because it's not worth it through meta crafting. So a lot of these things are going to go away, and the same thing goes for the new build I'm currently playing with rings that are absolutely perfect, or weapons like this will be very, very hard to come by. So what will then happen when it comes to progressing your character? Because you can get a gear piece that you might find very useful. Let's say you have 1 or 2 modifiers, let's say prefixes that are good for you, and then you will harvest craft the remaining suffixes to get the resistances, which will be good for your character progression, but also for profit crafting. So if you're looking at profit crafting, where we basically make the item into state where it has quite a few modifiers that are very, very good, or tier 1 modifiers for specific builds, may it be for the meta build, or may it be for builds that are commonly used throughout the past leagues in the community that people will actually purchase so that you can make currency. All of these things have been going for absolutely insane rolls in the current league. In other leagues, we basically do similar things, but we don't do harvest craft. That's not going to be available, which means that you will settle with an item that has a fraction of the modifiers that we're able to achieve now. So it's basically the same thing. It's instead of using the harvest crafts, we are either preparing the base with alterations, maybe with fossils, maybe just preparing 2 items with alteration orbs and then awaken or orbing them together, and then fine tune it with maybe a bestiary craft with remove suffix, add prefix, or the other way around. Maybe a nulliment orb or some meta craft. It doesn't really matter. There's plenty of these guides in my in the crafting guide series I have, and I will be posting a lot more of these during 3.12 so people can learn how to craft without using harvest craft, which I think is very big. A lot of people want to learn how to craft and have been learning to craft during Harvest, but now the Harvest deterministic crafting is going away. This doesn't make it so that you're unable to profit craft. It's how a lot of us people that are playing a lot have been making tons of currency in previous leagues by profit crafting. You just have to understand that you have to settle with a lot less high tier modifiers than we're able to achieve in the current league, and that will still be profitable. Let's take just as an example, if you look at this chess piece, for example, this one has very good resistances, plus number of specters, increased tier 1 effective offerings, and very high energy shield. If you were to get yourself a Val Regalia with +1 number of specters, then you would try to get some energy shield on it if you're lucky, and if you're not able to remove it. So that's basically a lucky hit. But the resistances, you can force them to some degree with metacrafting, and that can be pretty expensive. But just having a Val Regalia with decent amount of energy shield, like 300, 350 maybe, which is very easily achievable, as well as having 1 or 2 resistance roll, doesn't really matter. At that point, you're able to achieve a very profitable item. And in this league, you'll have to get super high tier energy shield. You have to get the offering, or you have to get this, or you have to get that. You have to get synthesize effect on it, the entire shenanigans, which is no longer needed when the deterministic crafting is not there. And people have to try to get that into their brains that when you want to profit craft for the next league, be prepared that you can settle with a fraction of the items that we could achieve in this league, and that will still be profitable. The same goes for things when it comes to character progression. You're no longer going to have full decked out gear with 6 tier 1 modifiers that you're going to kill endgame bosses with. So I got a question earlier today on the stream where people were saying that they're unable to, they're questioning or doubting their capabilities of killing endgame bosses without this deterministic crafting, so that they are able to get this insane gearing. So 2 things about this. One, I am currently looking into a guy that's reached out to me that will actually try out to be my YouTube editor. So we'll see how that goes. He is currently working on editing the 2 videos that I'll be uploading as soon as they're done, where I'm going through how to learn and apply your dodging skills and what the exact mechanics are of endgame bosses such as Elder, Shaper, Uber Elder, and Awakener. And there are very easy ways for you to practice these fights as well as understanding them so that you can kill them. And the first thing I want to mention there is that we have plenty of content creators that made a lot of videos about this. I know that GHAZZY made a very good discussion video about this not too long ago. I think it was like last week, where he talked about how a character can progress from being a solo self-found state or a low budget and then basically work your gear up consistently to the point where now you've gone from a league starter build where you're leveling through the act of the campaigns, and then going up into the state of going mapping, and then going from early mapping to the higher tier mapping, and then being able to kill endgame bosses. That progression will be a little bit different without deterministic crafting. However, it doesn't mean that you're not able to kill endgame bosses because you don't have the best gear in the world. You don't need 100 million Shaper DPS to kill a Welder. You don't need 100 million Shaper DPS to kill Awakener or Sirius Awakener 8, for example. A great example of this is a very common or popular build from my end. This league has been my Spectre build, which before I made the high body versions, I've had this guide up for several leagues now in a solo self-found state with no cluster jewels, life-based version, complete trash gear. You can kill endgame bosses using 3 specters, which means no plus chest piece specter, not getting gear enough to get your specter gems up to level 25 even. So you only have 3 specters and you're still able to kill Uber Elder, still able to kill Awakener 8 Sirius without problems by simply understanding the mechanics of the fights and having complete trash gear in a solo self-found state. So it is not impossible, it's not very hard. The only part that makes it tricky is experience and knowledge of the fights, which I'm hoping these 2 videos that I'll be uploading as soon as they're done will provide to the community. So I think that people need to separate this delusional idea that they need to have perfect gear to be able to do the endgame content. Perfect gear only makes endgame content either easier or faster or both. That's the only thing it does. Nothing else. You don't need to kill Oshabi in less than 0.1 second. Oshabi you can kill very easily. Obviously that's in this league. Sirius 8 is not very hard. Uber Elder, it's arguably harder in my opinion, but it's still not impossible to do. You can do a Vortex build, like one of my league starters that I have as well in the descriptions below. It's my Vortex build, solo self-found state. You can do that with 500,000 Shaper DPS. You can do it with less than that. An ED Contagion build with 250,000 Shaper DPS can kill Awakener 8 easily, can kill Uber Elder easily. It's not very hard. It's all about understanding and learning the mechanics of the fight and taking that information and knowledge and bring that into the game and do the fight that way. Don't have to be perfect on the gearing. So moving on from that aspect, we're looking at other types of disappointments, and I think that when it comes to crafting, a lot of people have basically only used harvest crafting and not really learned about crafting other things with the usage of fossils, essences, or alterations and whatnot on woke orbs. So I hope the crafting guides here I have in the description below will help you guys out with that. And there's plenty of tools that you need to learn how to use. And that's another aspect that I think a lot of people are missing out, even with the people that have decided to learn in the Harvest League. And that is that there are so many other things in the game than just the game that you need to learn with Path of Exile. It's a very complex game. So what you need to do is you need to learn the fundamental basics of things. And once you learn that, or during the time you're learning that, you also have to make sure that you know where you can go for information. May it be an in-game guild, a Discord community, a YouTube channel like this one, or my stream, for example, or any other stream with a content creator that actually is helpful in helping the community out. Those are perfect sources of information. And so is PoE Wiki, so is PoE DB, so is Craft to Exile. And all of this is available for you wherever you want to. Just go to the internet. As long as you have a functional internet connection, you have all the information you'll ever need to learn everything you need to either profit craft or make a perfect build or develop or progress your character. It's all about those stages. And I think a lot of people are very lazy and not wanting to learn, and therefore they say, hey, I can't do this fight because my character sucks, or I can't do this fight because I don't have mirror tier gear, which is just stupid in my opinion. You need to make sure that you look at the problems you have, and then if you want to solve your problems, there are solutions to it. You just got to be willing to invest the time to do it if you now want to do it, if you want to achieve it. You have to spend the time to do so. Things don't come served to you on a silver platter. You know, I guess we do have some Gen Z kids running around in the community these days. I mean, just sit down and learn. That's what it comes down to. Anyways, I just wanted to have some discussion about this. I want to hear you guys' opinions on what you guys think will be disappointing in 3.12, because it's been a very common topic on the stream and in the Discord server I have, where people have been talking about how disappointing crafting will be in the coming league and how disappointing progressing your character's gear will be in the coming league. So I want to know if you guys feel in the comments below, so hit me up. And yeah, that's about it. And I'll upload the 2 boss kill videos as soon as they're ready. So hit the like button, subscribe for more content. Until next time, boys, stay safe and keep rocking.